Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And what I have open here is the most recent blog by Hodor. It just came out on the 26th of April. And I read it this morning and I had one of those aha moments. And I just wanted to share with you that moment of clarity that I had. The reason why I think Hodor is so valuable to the XRP and Ripple community is because he does give all the truth and factual information in a very concise and well-written manner, but also he gives a little bit of his opinion. And sometimes that is very good to help us formulate our own opinion. So much of the news on YouTube is read articles from online media outlets. And that's okay because we are busy and you don't have time to go through all of the material that's out there. I mean, the aggregated news that comes out on crypto is like 5 to 10 articles every 5 minutes. So I think that there's a huge value to the YouTube providers going through what they think are the most important stories to bring to people that don't have time to read. And also, too, it allows you to listen to the stories in double task, whether it's cleaning the house or driving in the car or working out. Someone the other day in the comment section said that I'm listening to Eddie while on the Stairmaster, and that's great. But when it comes down to Hodor's blog, I really value his opinion. And in this particular blog, he does talk about the IMF negative interest rate. That will make you think twice when you read his perspective. Also, the Q1 XRP market report is very good. And especially when you get down into this section here, where he breaks down the institutional wholesale sales over the last quarter after quarter after quarter, going back to 2016. And you can see that in just one quarter, as he points out, it is equivalent to one large ICO. So it may not look like a lot of sales, but when you put it into perspective, it is a lot. And the level of institutional sales was at its highest, second highest ever, recorded by Ripple, which shows that there is a much greater appetite for large purchases of XRP. And then also this, I really love, I'm a visual person and I love this graph. He shows us here that, for example, if XRP were to be mined, you could see this kind of XRP distribution curve. Well, we know that it's more of a curve that relates to the escrow. And this is a distribution curve that takes us all the way out to 2030. And it really does show you, as that escrow is being managed, how it will eventually provide all of that supply out into the market. And as the utility and the use for the digital asset increases, that's a really fine balance. So this is where the XRP escrow release versus the XRP escrow returned is a very, very interesting and challenging balance that Ripple has to provide. It's their job when it comes to managing the world's largest storehouse of XRP to be able to maintain that careful balance. So you need just enough for the ecosystem to be useful for its utility. At the same time, you want to get the supply just right so that it's not too much of a downward pressure on price. So the big question he poses is, do you think Ripple achieved this balance in Q1 2019? I'm not going to tell you what he says because I really want you to go to his blog and read through his thinking. I will put a link to it down in the comment section below, but I will tell you, I agree with Hodor when it comes to hoping Ripple creates a specific section on XRapid and that they report the volume statistics as well as their targets for the future quarters. That would really provide traders a perspective on the growing levels of adoption. So when you do go to this, you're going to find there's a little bit of coverage about the meetup in Amsterdam. There is some coverage about the XRP tip bot. There is even some surprising coverage about the XRP Zoo. Also, the very important Ripple partner out there. And it's an XRP partner, really. It's BitTrue. And Curtis is really, really getting behind making XRP available in as many pairs as possible. And plus, they are going to do some integration with the XRP tip bot as well. And then the Chrome extension is some of the news that came out. And here, if we take a look at the one thing I don't want you to miss, it is this video where you can hear Naveen Gupta speak in the Dubai Financial Forum, and it's at about the 25-minute mark, and you'll see that Ripple is doing much more than just replacing Swift or creating another Swift. Yes, it is providing that transparency, the customer experience. It frees up all that stuck capital in pre-funding that is in cash currencies around the world. Do you know that 7% on average is the cost of a transfer today? And if you take a look at a company like Toyota, as Naveen says, their net profit is less than that is charged for a international remittance today. So if we can move money like an email or a text message, that gives us an amazing improvement in this space. So I think that when people say that you're building something like Swift, yeah, I guess that's a good reference point. But as you'll see in this video, it's much bigger than that. All right, the main purpose or the main information coming out of this article or this video is going to be about the shareholders meeting that took place yesterday with SBI. I've got my kitty cat here moving around. Okay, so it's a lot of great information. I'm going to bullet point it because the original video that was uploaded was more than 2.5 hours long, but then it was really interesting. The SBI channel, which is their YouTube channel, took that video down and uploaded a shorter version. I think they skipped the intro, and I'm not positive because I haven't listened to the end of this one. They might have taken the Q&A out. I don't know, but don't worry. I have some of the Q&A in this coverage. So the starting from just kind of really high-level bullet points, this Sumishin Bank, which is connected to the SBIVC Bank as well, they are growing very strong. They have 4.8 trillion yen, which is about 44 billion USD in customer deposits. The chip mining business, he has a goal to actually take a 30% share of all the hash power for BTC. And I'm sure that's going to be done with the company called Because in the US, because he recently took a 40% share in an investment in that company. And in addition to the mining, they're going to do some over-the-counter derivatives with the U.S. trading service as well. And then some new business on the horizon. There's a joint venture with a company from the U.S. called CoVenture, and they're going to create a crypto asset fund. There is also a virtual currency fund that when the legalities are clear, they are going to prepare for that and start it as soon as possible. It is going to be available here, and it will be sold through SBI Securities and Money Plaza. Now, MoneyTap, everybody knows that is the mobile payment app that runs on the Ripple technology. And Mr. Kitao wants Ripple to become a shareholder to promote the international remittance effort expansion. That's interesting. SBIVC Trade, it was profitable. Can you believe it? Just in 8 months, they had a pre-tax profit of nearly $3 million. Actually, a little over $3 million. Everything is on schedule. It is slated for a summer in or around July for a full push, and they are working on the private cloud enhancement. They are rolling in the T-Points card for that mobile trading that is really going to grab the younger demographic users. As far as SBI Securities, you may not know too much about the SBI Securities. They're number one here in Japan. They are the fastest growing securities company, and they hold that number one position. Then there's a big portion about R3 and XRP. And if I take you to the actual 178 deck PowerPoint, which I'm sure they're going to translate this into English. They always do, but it lags behind a little bit. And in addition to the talk to the shareholders in Japanese, they always, at least in the past, they have always translated that into English in an audio file. So I would imagine that is coming very soon, like within a week or two. So with R3 and XRP, there is a huge concentration to create new business. And that is for the international remittance, of course, and bond trading, commodity trading. I mean, if you can just, it's all in this area here. If you can dream it up, you can do it. And the Corda Settler and XRP is something, here you can see here, is something that is really going to be pushed forward in 2019. And then if I tell you a little bit about just in the Q&A portion, XRP for Mr. Kitao, he says it is highly interesting. And the launch of Corda network in 2019 will allow banks and fintechs to easily move data and digital assets. And he sees his new role as a Ripple director as someone who will contribute to make a bridge between R3. He has set a goal as an officer to disseminate Ripple's international remittance method as a global standard, and he has a big partner in mind. He has the ambition to create a digital asset version of SWIFT in partnerships with 10,000 partners, not just 200 or 300. He's a big thinker, and he moves. He gets things done, everybody. If you see the ecosystem he has built, not just wants to build, the ecosystem he has built, there is nobody, no entity, no company, none that I can think of who is even close to what he has done. So Ripple is currently aiming to partner with banks in Arab countries using XRP to move large amounts of money related to crude oil, and actually succeeding. So there you have it. Those are the high points. And I'm sure that you're going to get an English version very soon. But it all looks very good, very exciting. I'm really thrilled that he is on the board. Okay, the last story I want to talk about actually is going to lead right into the fluff, which I think is fun today. Japanese finance minister, this is actually Taro Aso. He urged the press recently, a couple of days ago, to start using the term crypto assets. So he wants to stop using that term virtual currencies. And I'm thinking, gosh, do you think Mr. Kitao will have to change the name of the SBIVC Trade site? I don't know. Maybe he does. That's a minor detail to him. But he wants, Mr. Aso wants to start using the newly proposed name crypto asset. And he is wanting people not to get confused with legal tender, as he said. So the interesting thing is the conversation was actually published on the FSA website, the Financial Service Agency's website. They took the Q&A and put it into print for everyone to read. There is great focus on cryptocurrency right now because the new exchange called Decurrent has on their board a former administrative vice minister from the Ministry of Finance as one of its directors. So for Japan, crypto now has really hit the map outside of the IT world or outside of the world of investors or stock enthusiasts or financial service sector of business. This is really hitting into mainstream government workers, and people are really starting to pay attention. So I think that Japan will keep moving forward very fast. Okay, I'm going to the fluff. And you know, I listened to somebody on YouTube that I've listened to for at least 2 years, and he said, well, this channel isn't about fluff. We are really going to talk serious for the serious investor. And then he went on to just read an article from an online media source. I thought, okay, that's really definitely for the serious investor. I think the fluff sometimes is a good balance because there is a lot more to life than just cryptocurrency, and we need to enjoy the journey. So I hope you enjoy this fluff. This is Prime Minister Abe, and he's in Washington, D.C. now, and he met with Trump, and they're trying to work out the details of a trade deal. And I don't think they're going to sign anything while Abe's there. I could be wrong, but I think where it'll get signed is when Trump comes to Japan at the end of this month. And it'll be very curious. They always cover here, it's big news, where the presidents eat when they come. So a couple of years ago, when Trump came, President Trump decided he didn't want to eat Japanese food. He's not big on sushi. So they took him to this really fancy Ginza French restaurant called Yukaite. And it looks just absolutely fabulous, right? Look at that. Just amazing. It's Teppan style. So it is going to be out of this world, I'm sure. I've never had a meal here. But then when he came back most recently, he asked the working group that was getting him prepared, he said, well, do you eat hamburgers in your country? Yes, the Japanese. And they said, yeah, sure we do. And actually the hamburgers are really good here. And they took him to this Munch Burger, which is near the Tokyo Tower in Shiodome, in Shibakoen. And it's kind of funny because it's just one of those burger places. I mean, it's probably a diner style that you can get your burger for around $10, you know. I'm sure he loved it because I haven't eaten there, but I saw the pictures and I saw the rating on Tabelog. Tabelog is a service where you can give the restaurant a star rating, and then it calculates a score. And I think it was 3.8, which is pretty high. So the burger was a big hit for President Trump. When Barack Obama used to come, he loved sushi. He grew up in Hawaii, so I think he was much more acquainted with sushi. And there is a famous one called Sukiyabashi Jiro, and it's very famous, but very, very expensive. It's one of the 3-star Michelin restaurants in Tokyo. So lunch will set you back like $300. And dinner, I don't even want to tell you because you probably won't even believe me if I do tell you what dinner is. The lunch is more omakase, which means that the chef decides what to serve you based on what he has that's fresh. And it's going to be very expensive. But here's my point. So everybody who comes to Tokyo, Mr. Jiro has a son. And his son, who apprenticed with him for years, has his own restaurant. It's not a Michelin, but I can tell you it's going to be, should I say, as good? It's going to be as good. And he is located in Toyosu. I'll put a link in the comment section below. It's a very unassuming, simple location. You can actually get a lunch starting at $15 US. That's amazing. That's just amazing for the person that the son has as a father. And this is like something you would get. So I think you can be having the best sushi experience in Japan in many, many, many places. But I wanted to give you at least this secret place because not many people know that he is the son of the most famous sushi bar in all of Tokyo. Okay, everybody. Yeah, okay. Do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.